The text came just as I was finishing my last exam. It was from my mother. Graduation dinner tonight. Be ready. Big family discussion. I smiled at first, thinking it was just her excitement spilling over. But something in the phrasing, big family discussion, felt off. My heart sank in a quiet, inexplicable way. That evening, I walked into the restaurant with my parents and my sister. The air smelled faintly of candles and roast, the chatter of other diners forming a low hum around us. I should have been celebrating, the culmination of years of sleepless nights, exams, and late nights buried in textbooks. Instead, I felt a creeping tension I couldn't name. Dinner began normally. My parents praised my grades, my accomplishments, my resilience. I nodded, smiling politely, though every compliment felt hollow under the weight of unease. Then mid-entree, my father set down his fork and leaned forward, his gaze sharp. "We need to talk about the inheritance," he said. I blinked. My stomach tightened. "Inheritance?" I asked, trying to keep my voice steady. "Yes," my mother added, voice firm. "Your father and I have decided it would be best if you gave your share to your sister. She needs it more than you right now." I froze. The breadbasket felt suddenly heavy in my hands. My mind raced, tripping over itself. Wait, what? Why would I do that? That's my inheritance. I worked for it just as you worked for it. My sister looked down at her plate, avoiding eye contact, but I could feel her smirk. My parents' faces were calm, almost rehearsed, as if they expected no resistance. I can't do that," I said finally, my voice tighter than I intended. "It's mine. I've earned it. I need it for my future." My mother's jaw tightened, her fingers clutching her napkin. "We're trying to be fair. You've always had opportunities. Your sister hasn't. She deserves a chance to catch up." I wanted to scream. All those small moments, the way my achievements were always measured against hers, the casual comparisons, the subtle favoritism in childhood, everything suddenly clicked into place. It wasn't just about money. It was about recognition, respect, and fairness. The conversation spiraled. My father argued logic, my mother pleaded emotion, and my sister barely spoke, her silence loud enough to feel accusatory. I wanted to walk away, to storm out, but I stayed, gripping the table edge as my heart pounded. Later, I found myself outside, the cold night air burning my lungs, trying to untangle my thoughts. I remembered every late night I spent studying, every sacrifice I'd made. Every time I had hoped for a simple acknowledgement that my efforts mattered. And now, in the middle of what should have been a celebration, my parents were asking me to erase all of that for someone else's comfort. I thought about confrontation, about storming back in and yelling, but instead I made a quiet decision. I went back, sat down, and looked each of them in the eye. "I'm proud of my sister," I said slowly, "and I want her to succeed. But I can't give up my future for the comfort of your conscience. I've earned this inheritance. I need it." The silence that followed was deafening. My mother's lips pressed into a thin line. My father's eyes flickered, a mix of frustration and reluctant respect. My sister's head snapped up, hurt flashing in her eyes, quickly replaced by annoyance. It was not the ending anyone expected. But in that moment, I realized something important. Life doesn't always hand you validation. Sometimes you have to claim it for yourself. And sometimes standing firm in what's right for you is the only way to honor your own worth. Walking home later, I felt a strange mixture of relief and sorrow. Relief that I had spoken my truth, sorrow for the fractures it created. But underneath it all there was quiet strength. I had set a boundary, and for the first time I understood the weight of self-respect. Years later I still think about that night. I remember the candlelight reflecting off the polished table, the tight smiles, the quiet tension. I remember the moment I realized that love and family don't always mean surrender. They mean honesty, courage, and sometimes the painful act of saying no. And in that saying I found something lasting. The knowledge that I could honor myself without diminishing others, that integrity matters more than approval, and that standing your ground is not betrayal, it is survival.